Hi, welcome to another episode of the Mystical Journey of CNC. And today we have a dear friend of mine, Shari, that I would love for everybody to get to know. Wonderful healer. She does a lot of different type of things, right? Lots of different types of work, but I want to let yourself introduce yourself and all your healing modalities and how you got to do and be who you are today. So just one step at a time.
My name is Shari, and people ask, like, how long have you been healing? And I've been healing for my whole life, really. And I was kind of searching for a long time for my own healing. And then I found my teacher, who I had a healing with first. He was a Maori Tuhunga, which is like high up on the healing ladder. It's like a shaman, but much more stronger. Like a kahuna, but in the Maori culture. They're from New Zealand. They're very well respected there. And he gave me a session, and I had a very big release. And his specialty was he abstracted a negative energy from me. And the negative energy had been running my life for years. For instance, when I used to drink to self-destruction. Yeah. This entity that was in me, and I knew it was. So I was doing a lot of work on myself, and I knew, and I was with some pretty powerful people, and no one could really abstract this entity from me. Yeah. And I went and saw him, and he did a full-on exorcism. Yeah. The very next day I went back to I was blown away. You have to realize what this did to me. It really changed me. The dog. It changed me, and I was never going to be the same afterwards. And but I knew that I had been searching. Yeah. Gloria, your dog is eating the wire. You have a puppy eating the wire. Yeah. Puppy would die. He's gorgeous. But he wants to sit. It's okay. I have it. And so after this had happened, I went back to work the next day with the Maoris. They work in like 4 people, 5 people. And then Papa Joe was the one who worked on me. And he actually started putting me to work, which it sounds like, oh, he just put me to work. Well, I didn't want to be put to work. I was, no, I'm not the healer. I'm just here to like make tea for people and, you know, hold their hand, because these sessions were really profound. And, you know, people are screaming and crying. It's quite profound. So I was there to hold their hand or make tea, and he just put me to work. But what was uncanny was my, I don't know, body memory or whatever. It really, what it was is it was just waking me up. I had known this man for lifetimes. I was a healer myself. However, it was just so in my blood. I am Native American, and it's, I do this normally. It is who I am. It's not even a thing.
Did you ever always had that not knowing in you that there was something else? Yes. Before you got rid of that negative energy?
Yeah, I kind of aware. I knew a bunch of things. Like I knew that something was off and I needed help. I needed this thing removed, but I didn't know what it was. And I just knew I was in torment. I was in fear. I was like a very old soul looking for its way in this world. Nothing, I wasn't excited by what normal young people were excited about. I didn't care about a boyfriend. I didn't care about being married. I didn't care about success. I didn't care about anything except being free and just free of this,
Yeah.
my own oppression,
Mm.
So when I started to work, I had sort of memory of like, I had uncanny abilities
Mm.
that were just coming out. And my teacher just kept pushing me, pushing me, pushing me. He would wait till the most difficult person would walk in the door and he would give them to me. He told me afterwards. and
Wow.
and and I was, I just started to work, and it was something I could excel at. I was like, oh, I finally found my thing.
Yeah.
Although I wasn't particularly interested in being a healer at all. I was very frightened of the energy world, meaning like that unseen world
Yeah.
scared me. And it
So
took a very
this
long time. Yes.
this negative energy, did you feel it from early on in childhood even?
Yeah,
Yeah, so you think it was attached to you
it
since
was.
birth, basically?
Yeah. Yeah, when I had my session afterwards, I asked him, because I had been doing a little research, and I said, was that an entity you took out of me? And he went, huge entity. And I was like, oh, he said, you had a very difficult childhood. I said, yes. And he says, this entity had come in as a child. And I knew that, my mom was schizophrenic
Mm.
and not very well. And I was raised with a lot of horror and fear. And I saw it in her eyes as a child, and she wasn't well. And so this entity attached to me. And I felt like I was fighting it my whole life, even in my 20s, I had to stop drinking, and because it would take me over.
Yeah.
Mm.
Because then you go into those low vibrations, and then it's like it's got the power over you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how did you meet that healer that became your mentor?
Well, as I moved to LA, and I started like on a seeking out like how to better myself kind of thing. And I was working with some pretty powerful people, some, shamans and stuff, and healers and teachers and curanderas. And I met this one woman who, like, LA is saturated with a lot of healers and stuff. Yeah.
Definitely.
And she was one of those marketing types of ladies. Like, I know a wonderful woman, if you come, and she'll do your wardrobe and she'll tell you what vibration you should be wearing, what colors. And I was like, she was always trying to sell you this bullshit. And one day she says, there's these Maori healers that are, and I was like, yes.
You knew.
Yes,
Kind
I
of.
knew. And after meeting him and having that session and then starting to heal, they were here a month and I was there every day.
Mm.
I literally was not the same person afterwards. I couldn't go back to my old life. I was like, whoa. And then I kept going and going, and
So
I had
they left. You just pursued. You continue that work.
I blew up. And then I kind of was bedridden for many, many months. And I went through a whole psychological, spiritual metamorphosis, which was is probably for another blog, but I spent many months in the energy worlds, just traveling around. And then finally, when he came back into town, he did a few adjustments with me because he was gone a few months. And then I continued and working, doing healings on people. I didn't understand my abilities the way I do now. I just would put my hands and things happened. But now I understand more what I'm doing. I have a more maturity about
It is. There's no school per se for that. I think it's just experience and working with different people and on different people. I know a few years back, I had a treatment from you, and that was really powerful. I just remember I was laying on the table, and I just remember you putting your hands on my feet, and I just felt this like, I mean, it's pretty intense. And can you tell us about, because I had just one treatment with you, and that was a while ago, and I'm sure it evolves all the time, or it also, depending on whatever a person is dealing with in their lives, whether it's a physical ailment or something more spiritual or mental, what are the different ways you apply your healing?
Yeah, I mean, I would be curious to know exactly how you, because I don't know how you work. So
Well, I think my ability when I work with people is fine tuning this, like what they need. Generally, if people come to me, even if it's a back pain, 9 times out of 10, it's a spiritual issue, you know, and a disconnect. And I find myself saying this again and again, you know, that, you know, people come to me when they're spiritually sick, you know, and there's a disconnect from their spirit, and they feel lost and scared, and they're off, you know, off here when they should be here. And fine tuning that, getting them back to them, getting them back in their power, not getting them to, you know, follow me or any of this nonsense, but getting them in their own personal code, getting them back into their power, getting them grounded. And then sometimes that means extracting the negatives, which have gotten in and created a dis-ease or a disillusionment of some sorts of the brain, or, you know, offered the wrong man, or you know what I'm saying. And getting them here, whether they follow the directions or not is up to them. And then just getting them, okay, you're stronger now. And it might take 2 or 3 sessions, and sometimes it's 1, and I don't hear from them for 10 years, and you know, that's that. But it's a lot of it is just, you know, I found that I've had this since I was a little, an ability to hear, you know, and hear frequencies and hear, you know, so I'm listening to their, you know, and I hear people talk, and they're like, blah, blah, blah. And a lot of times, wah, 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 wah. And it's like cutting out the story, cutting out the bullshit, cutting out the lies, cutting out the disillusionment, and getting them into their real power, really, into them, and back into who they are as a soul, who they are as a, you know, rather than, you know, the personality. And sometimes there's a fight, but 9 times out of 10 where I'm working and how things are going, people come to me when they are pretty much desperate.
they find everything else.
They come when, like, you know, all else fails, or, you know,
they're ready.
or they've been around me enough to know, like, okay, this is the person I go to for this. Not a moment too soon, because, you know, they don't want to hear, like, when they don't want to hear. So the work has evolved for me. You know, obviously I've moved to Arizona, and a lot of my work has gone online, which I've been doing the remote sessions for years, but and people, you know, it's funny, they work just as well, you know. It's just matching someone's energy, you know, and as soon as someone is giving you permission, they're paying you, that's the right to passage. I just align to their energy and matching. And it's just like like a computer. It's like, oh, there's a virus here, okay, there's a, you know, too many downloads here, you know what I mean. But and then a little bit of counsel, a little bit of bossing around. Do this, do that, get rid of this, get rid of that, make a right turn, make a left turn. And generally it seems to be a formula that seems to work. But everybody, of course, is different, you know. So I don't have the ones that answer for everything. I never know even how it's going to move the
Mhm.
energy.
Do you feel
Also,
like you have to put some kind of protection on yourself too, to not
Yeah.
take on?
but this is always a lifetime. This was my training with my teacher for 7 years, was a constant taking on of energy. And I was just like, man, I was getting so frustrated. It was just like, why can't I get this? You know, it was just like I was always taking on energy, and you just get better with your boundaries, you know. And a lot of the taking on of energy is just, you know, if you sit in a dusty room, you're going to get dust on you, you know what I mean? But also is learning like that's yours and this is mine, you know, and it's just like, and staying neutral, not identifying with the emotions. And
Yeah.
sometimes I do identify with the emotions. I'm sitting there sobbing sometimes with some of the pain that's leaving people, you know, and it's just, you know, whatever. And, but, you know, 9 times out of 10 now, and I got to knock on wood because I could never get cocky, you know, I just feel it leaving and leaving.
Mm.
You know, and sometimes I need to, you know, it takes 24 hours for it to clean out.
Yeah.
But a lot of times we're working the day before. So the night before, I'm already energetically, we're already working.
Yeah.
So by the time I talk with them on the phone, I'm already know their blueprint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just going blah, 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 and it's all coming out like I've known them forever.
Yeah.
And this is all, I will be honest, above me. I understand it 1000%, but it's above me to
Yeah.
even get words sometimes.
Mhm.
Because we're working in other dimensions and other planes. And because it's of the soul, it's so above me, you
Yeah.
know, above my everyday personality brain.
Mhm.
Yeah. I think that often people have a hard time understanding that remote work can work as well as being, you know, physically present. But we've heard that from a
Yeah,
lot of
and I think
healers
it's
I know.
actually it might be even more powerful because there's less of the chit chat. Like I don't
Yeah.
know, like in person you can,
Distraction.
yeah, less distractions. I
Yeah.
think you just go right to the point. So
Yeah. Before Zoom, I just learned how to do Zoom meetings not too long ago. Literally, like I think when I moved down here in November, I was shown how to do it, and I knew how to do press this, press this, press that, and do Zoom. And but before that, I was doing without even the picture, just
yeah,
like
Yeah.
FaceTime, but mostly just on the phone. And I have people that I've never even met before. And in a way, it's better because it's not the personality to distract. And
Yeah.
also, it's like, how does she know this about me? Because I don't know this person from Adam, but I can read
yeah,
their whole legacy, their whole story. And it makes people, because they're in their own environment, sometimes let their guard down. They don't have to travel and come in and do the whole dance, like you say, the chit chat. For me, I can be more efficient and they can be more relaxed, you know.
yeah. Are you still in touch with the your mentor healer
Well,
Maori?
he passed. He
Yeah.
passed in 2016.
Okay.
And
So you
you
feel
know,
his presence still? His
yeah,
energy?
yeah, when I do, it's funny. I know something's up, you
Yeah.
know, like he's warning me, or he's giving me extra what do you call it?
Yeah.
Juju,
Okay.
or a big shift is about ready to happen. Yeah. I was telling the story not too long ago about when he passed, he showed up at the edge of my bed and he says, nothing's changed. As if he was like standing in front of me in the
Yeah.
flesh. He says, you know, and he continued to work with me in my sessions till I was strong enough.
Mm,
So, yeah.
yeah. That's powerful.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
But, you know, but even when he was starting to before he transitioned, you know, I was starting to meet some of these powerful guides that work with me. So I have a lot of the Maori Tuhungas and working with me. It's like, I know it's a big day when they show up, but yeah, I'm not doing this alone. You know, that's definitely, you know, and I love how people are like, oh, I can do what you're doing. I'm like, great.
Yeah.
Knock yourself out, because it's everything. It's everything. It's my whole world. I don't do anything else. I do a lot to keep my vibration high.
Yeah, that was my question too, because a lot of like that kind of energy work requires a lot of energy
Everything
on yourself, and to be physically like in every aspect of your being, you got to be in
on.
yeah, in great shape, because it's intense.
Yeah, it requires everything of me. You know, for many years, you know, I didn't have a partner, I didn't have a boyfriend, nothing. It was my 24-hour a day committed work, you know, period. This
Yeah.
is, I put this first. I'm committed. It is like many years ago, you know, it's like, it's real, you know.
Yeah.
And there's moments when I would put other things as a priority, and I'd always get a little kick, you know, and I'd be like, okay. And because I really, when I just commit to this, the energy, and follow the energy, and follow, listen,
Yeah.
I everything flows. Everything I need, I have. You know, what do I get in my little ego? You know, then things get a little screwed up.
Yeah.
But it requires everything of me, you know. And I take care of myself. I eat well. You know, I'm in nature a lot. I go for walks. I breathe. I meditate. You know.
Do you find that your Native American roots have been helpful in all that work in connecting with the Maori?
Yeah, I sat with a medicine woman many years ago, who was Papa Joe's auntie, as they call it. And she sat with me, and it was a very powerful time. And she was about near end of her life, but I got a chance to sit with her, which was a great honor. And she talked to me about Papa Joe, and she talked to me how she came into her power, and she didn't want it either, because I was fighting it, you know, in those
Yeah.
days. And it was frustrating Papa a lot. And she kind of was a mediator with us too, because she understood, because she didn't want her gift either, and she denied it like I was, you know. And it was backfiring on her like it was with me, and creating waves, and everybody was getting annoyed with me. But she sat with me, and she told me that you know, it came to her daughter almost dying, and she had to rise up for the occasion and just step into it and get over it, you know, get over her fear. And she was crying and stuff, and it was a very magical time. But she talked to me how I held the two lineages. She says, when Papa passes, you'll continue with the Maori Tuhunga energy and your own native energy. She has you have the two lineages,
Yeah.
which brings in extra punch, extra energy. It's two very strong lineages.
Yeah.
I was born in this lifetime to be a healer for sure, and I have been doing it for lifetimes. I've seen that, you know. And to me, it's just like whatever the person needs. It's like I'm able to download that. I don't know. You know, those things, a computer, you can download the certain programs.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
That's what seems to happen. And again, I don't really have too much attachment to it. So it just is.
I think that's the key too, is if you're trying to have attachment or control the situation, it's probably the ego taking over actually the energy, the flow, and
yeah.
It's
I have ego. I have a lot of ego, but not in this, particularly in this.
not in your work. Yeah.
Whatever. I'm a plumber, you know, really. I'm a plumber in my work. I just get rid of shit.
It's a good way to put it.
It's
So-
true.
Yeah, so most of your work now, you said, is mostly online. How do people find you? How do people I mean, we'll put the info also at the bottom of this video. Is there a preferred way to contact you, or just look at through your website and kind of see if it's something that
Well, generally, I don't know what people do, but generally they Google you, right? But I have a website, help number 4 healing.com, and people can look at me there. And then, you know, and I have a blog up. You can get to that through that website. And then people just find me through friends, and then they probably Google Shari Geitzenauer, and then there's like stuff that I've done and interviews and, you know, but generally people find me word of mouth.
Yeah, well, that's how I found you, through common friends, and
it's the best way.
Yeah, that's how it works too. I think it's even more meant to be when people find you word of mouth. It's kind of like, okay, you're guided to meet this healer, and it will work for you. Or
people make fun of me because like the early days of meeting me, I'm always like, when they message me, you know, they email me, hi, my name is blah blah blah, I would like a session, and I always come back, who sent you?
Yeah.
How do you know? Like, because I like to follow the
like know where it comes from.
It also feels like, oh, it's this person, it's more like of the mental, oh, that's this person that's very emotional, you know, like it says a lot who they come through, their friend lineage.
Have you noticed that you had more and more people coming to you lately because of all the craziness that's going around, or
the general vibe of what's happening, and when people come, it's generally like people are more serious now. Less playing around, less like, well, I got time, you know, it's more like, where do I need to be? What's my path? What's my purpose? Who am, you know, like more this kind of energy, rather than this guy is not calling me back, you know, like the nonsense.
I think we see more the essential, like what's like a guidance we need.
Guidance.
Profound.
What's the next step? You know, where do I need to be? You know, this kind of stuff. And because it's requiring people to, you know, be more in their spiritual selves.
Have you had that same experience that Papa Joe had with you, where you feel someone is a healer and you took on
all the time, all the time? You know, they might not be healer in the way that I'm healer, you know, like hands-on, or, you know, but they're healer in like whatever they do, even if they're a chef, or they're an artist, or, you know, they're doing it in their way. They're helping their circles. And I would say 95% of the people, well, 90% of the people that come to me are all pretty much healers in their own. And whether they're, you know, they're just being there for their family or their children or whatever, it's because I don't look at this as just healing. It's frequency. And the people that are generally seeking me out are seeking out higher frequencies to be that frequency in their worlds. So yes, that's a long way. Yes,
but it's interesting because you're right, you can heal, you know, doing many different things. I mean, seeing a painting, hearing a song, you know, can come from different avenues. It's just helping people get on their truer self path, you know.
Amazing.
And so go ahead.
No, we're getting to the end of our time, but unless is there anything else you want to add, or any
message you want to transmit out in the world?
We have deers out there. It's so beautiful. Deers
mean,
are walking, you're attracting the deers.
oh, wonderful, gentle.
Yeah.
They're all about being gentle and kind. I mean, the thing that I would really like to say, and it sounds so trite, is it's so important for people to be true to themselves. I mean, how cliche, but really now, really follow what's true in your heart and dare to live that way. Dare to follow the energy, what feels good, whatever that be, and now's the time to start, being in, because spiritual is for like the future, right? But now is the time to be that. Because really, honestly, when you're living that life, it's everything works out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so true.
It's a beautiful message. Yeah. I think people are realizing it more now. Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Thank
well,
you so much.
seeing you, oh, you look great and nice meeting you.
Nice to meet
So
you.
great to see you.
And
I hope
you'll-
we get to see you in person at
Well,
some point.
I'm going to be moving closer to Sedona
Okay.
so soon, and so when you're in Sedona or you come down, honestly, and I'm going to be making a place where it's a little bit where people can come and stay or hang out. So yeah, please stay in touch, Chloe, and let me know when this comes out. So
Yes. Yes,
but
absolutely.
it'd be nice for you to come and visit. And,
I would love to. Yeah, definitely. Plus, Sedona is always a beautiful
Place to
place.
be.
So yeah.
Yes.
well, it would be not in Sedona, but just
Close.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, this whole area.
It's
So
I
beautiful.
love it. I don't miss LA at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you, Shari.
And
you.
everybody will be able to find all the info at the bottom of the video. Yeah, I appreciate you taking the time to speak with us today.
Thank
And,
you.
yeah, we'll see you very soon. Thank you, Shari.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.